Hi, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Woo!
Hope you are having as good a stretch as I am.
Now, for those listening, we also were doing on RadioU a Happy Sad Day. So you'll hear that intermixed with all of this, but that's something that is over.
It's too late for you to win.
Unless you're listening to RadioU, not through the podcast.
Yeah. So today there is a lot of Valentine's Day talk in the podcast. From Keith's very difficult Valentine's Day to me handing them out. Anything else Valentine's related? We talk heart-shaped pizzas and some other pizza news. Mm-hmm. We also talk about what would the riot get if they were president?
That was a good question. I don't know if we necessarily landed on anything or just the fact that maybe there is nothing else we can think of, but you guys hear it, and if you can think of something, let us know.
Feel free
Please.
To stop by and let us know. And you guys have a very happy Valentine's Day.
Yay! Whee! Hugs and hearts to everybody.
Fist bumps and waves.
Okay. Well. Takes two, both sides.
Yeah, whichever you feel best about.
Don't forget to join us at RadioU Riot on Facebook. And, of course, you can always join us through riot.radiou.com. That's our hub for everything. Okay, bye.
Bye.
What's worse than finding grounds in your coffee? Finding grounds in your coffee while listening to the riot. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but as a man, I don't feel like people open the door for me very often. It's gotten better.
But it's not equal like you've wanted it to be.
That's right. And so, I think it was 2, maybe 3 days ago, it just happened to be that I was standing there at the door to the station, and Nikki was there, and she opened the door for me. And then as you do in all good relationships, I spoke up and then stated what my expectations were.
Because you liked I got the door for you. You like that.
I liked Nikki being there to get the door for me. And I said, Nikki, from now on, I would like you to be here when I get here in the morning so you can open the door for me.
Now would Joe say, ha, 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 teasing, okay, sure, I'll be there. And then the following day, it just happened to where I was again walking by
Perfect timing.
And I got the door for you again. I thought, oh, no. Mm-hmm. So 2 times, what did they always say when you're creating a habit or something?
It's 30 days.
30. We have just a few more left then.
But no, it's fool me once, shame on you.
No,
fool me twice, shame on
I still feel more like we're almost to a habit.
We're almost there?
Yeah.
Okay. So the third day, I got here today, and my hands were just full. And, there was no one to greet me at the door, which really bothered me. And, I had talked to Nikki. I feel like I had clearly stated my expectations in our relationship.
I was in the studio, though.
And if we're both committed to seeing this relationship succeed, that means that we both have to, be willing to.
I have to get the door.
Yeah, you have to get the door for me, okay? That we'll just cut to the end. I need you to get the door for me every morning. And she wasn't there. So I thought, well, you know what? I know what I'll do. I just reached over and hit the button and rang the doorbell, basically.
We have a call box here that's like a building's doorbell that you then can answer it. But when the studio, it just doesn't work very well to answer from the phone here. So it's like, oh, my gosh, something must be wrong.
He must have forgot his keys.
I think he must have forgot his keys. I wonder how he got here. What's going on? So I got up to go get the door for him. And the second I saw your face at the door when I was opening it, I knew. It's like, wait a minute. I think I've been trapped. But what if he really did forget his keys? And then he just dangles his keys. It's like, I have my keys. Thanks for getting the door.
I just wanted you to open the door.
So now we're at day 3 of me opening the door for you, and that was quite clever.
And I'm out. I'm out of ways to get her to answer the door.
What if it just works out tomorrow? Like I'm going to have to make sure I'm away from the door around your time.
If I was committed to this enough,
every day,
I'd make sure I got here early and sit in my car until you got out. I just don't feel.
You're like, why you at work a little earlier? You don't understand.
Don't worry, it's a thing.
It's a thing. And here she comes. I gotta get out so she can get the door. And you're bringing in stuff that you don't need to bring in.
So my hands are full.
So your hands are full every time.
Can you get the door for me?
See, that's just how it is, and that's just a joy, isn't it? Just a joy.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
What are you guys up to?
If you were offended or disgusted by anything Obadiah said this morning,
If you weren't so dumb, I might be offended.
you must be new. You'll get used to it. The Riot on Radio U.
And if we don't give you anything, get yourself some.
We're at least telling you happy Valentine's Day and, of course, happy Sad Day, too.
That's what President Trump did. He was like, you know what? I'll get myself something.
Buy yourself something nice.
I'll get myself something nice. He has installed at the White House a $50,000, apparently the price tag's very important, golf simulator. So it is a room where, it's not quite virtual reality, but it's a big screen and there's a bunch of different things that you do. And you literally hit a golf ball and it tracks the golf ball and you can, quote unquote, virtually play any course in the world. Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool. Now, of course, a lot of people are criticizing him for it.
They wanted to point out that he paid for that with his own money.
He bought himself something nice.
That's quite an expensive something nice gift.
Well, it is, but I do think it's worth pointing out that other presidents, it's actually not uncommon for presidents to put something in that is
and
like
leave
their
it there.
Yes, that is like their luxury thing. So I remember President Clinton, for example, put in a running trail. Like there is a running trail at the White House now. I don't remember who it was, but somebody else put in a movie theater and somebody else put in a bowling alley. So I mean, like there is stuff in the White House that is there for the president, or I suppose for entertaining people, to just be able to relax and enjoy because
so they spend the money, they buy it, put it in, and then they leave it there for everybody else to use.
Yeah. And just to be clear, if you see President Trump golfing and you hate it, I will tell you that the media likes you to hate that because something I remember when President Obama was president, sitting president, I suppose. And every time he went golfing, there would be an article about President Obama's back out on the golf course. And it was like, you know what? This is all just clickbait. They're like, no matter what party you're in, if you don't like the person and you see them out golfing, it makes you mad.
Maybe we should all just realize to take a step back and know that probably any future presidents as well, they seem to just always like to golf.
Yeah. Well, okay. But you know what? I think it must be a thing like people just get mad at people for golfing.
Sure.
Because I had a friend who worked, you know what? Okay. Cut the noise. He was a pastor and he golfed once a week. And people would get really mad at him for golfing. Like, he should be out working. What's he doing on the golf course? And I remember being like,
once a week?
What? What do you freaking care?
It's exercise.
Dude's golfing.
It's good for self-care.
Yeah, I mean, like,
That's
so
nice.
What? So, I mean, I don't know what it is. And I know some people are
like to hate on everything.
But I feel like there's something about golfing that it's a lightning rod. Is it because it takes a long time?
Maybe.
Is it because you're outside?
Maybe it's because we just don't understand since not everybody golfs. So could be they're just like, to us, it seems like you're spending hours just walking around and not doing anything.
I mean, you're doing something.
But you are doing something. But if you don't golf, it just doesn't mean the same.
It doesn't mean a lot. I'm not a big golfer. I do like to play everybody's golf on the PlayStation 4.
Yes, you do. And that would have been your contribution if you were president. You're like, here, I got a new gaming system and all this.
So President Obadiah installed an arcade, but the next
classic games.
The next president came in and just pulled it right out.
Took it out. They were like, you know what? No future president needs this as well.
Absolutely just uninstalled the thing. Like, no go.
Well, remember, if you ever get to the White House, that could be your legacy.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I said, you know, if you feel like nobody's going to do anything nice for you today, President Trump bought himself a golf simulator. What's on your agenda for today?
Maybe some lunch?
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So we were talking about President Trump installed like a virtual, not quite virtual reality, but like a virtual golfing thing in the White House. And I was saying how it just seems like everybody gets mad whenever someone else is golfing. Stuart says, I think people view golfing as snobby. It doesn't help that many times golfing has to be done at a club with traditionally exclusive membership rules.
That could be true.
Yeah, didn't even think about that. But see, I haven't cared enough to think about it, and that might be part of the problem.
We're all different.
Nathan says, if Obadiah were president, what would you install? And would Nikki install a bear petting zoo?
Doesn't that sound fun?
That actually, I mean, Nikki, think about this. And as president, you could rotate in the bears, so it's always baby bears.
And it could, oh, yes.
See?
Yes, it could be.
See?
And I feel like that would strengthen relationship with different countries because we could share the bears, bring the bears in, and then send them out to different zoos.
You ride the bear out to greet them.
That also?
That's going to create an intimidating presence.
It could be. I normally don't like to be so intimidating, and again, if it's baby bears, I'll just come out holding them.
Well, right, but you have one bear that you've raised from the time it was a baby.
That I can't part with.
And it's, what if the Secret Service is all bears? We get rid of the human Secret Service, and it's a straight bear Secret Service.
It could be, yeah.
I want to tell you right now, like, straight up, like, if the president was protected by bears,
we'd have a different attitude.
When you see a human being somewhere inside you, you're like, I'll get a gun or all this or all that. I can overpower them. I can get to the president. I'll tell you right now. You see all those bears standing there, and you're going to be like, this gun's not enough. I'm going to need like a bazooka.
I could have almost the We Bear Bears show where it's like the panda bear, the polar bear, and then the brown bear.
Perfect.
It's like, oh, there's her group.
So real talk, though. Okay. Like real world, if you were president and you could install, like you got to install one luxury item, just one.
Yeah.
In the White House.
What would it be?
Like, what do you think your luxury item would be? What would be the thing that you would want to do?
See, it'd be hard because I'm only thinking of it like now. Like now I would really like if RadioU had like a workout club or something to where you don't want to go pay a monthly membership or a spa, something like that.
Yeah.
But I bet you it already has that.
It probably does. Well, we know it has a running trail.
Yeah, and I'm sure it has everything else.
It probably has a place to lift weights.
Yeah.
Though I've never seen photos of any president lifting weights. Ever.
I'm sure it's in there.
It's probably somewhere. Okay.
I'm sure there's a health club of some sorts in there.
Okay, so there's that. Anything else?
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, because like really,
and it must have it.
It might be a function of it just shows you like the lives that we lead and the income level that we live at. Because when I think of like, hey, what do you want to do to really just like chill out? I want to be left alone. I want a huge TV and I want to play a game or watch a movie.
And they kind of have all that covered.
They've already got that.
They have the movie theater. They have the bowling alley. So what else is there?
I mean, do you install what else?
You want a freestyle section? Like a Coke freestyle machine?
I feel like the saddest question that we can ask is the question you just asked. What else is there?
That's all we can think of. I mean, if we were specialized in like some sort of sport or something, well, then maybe you'd be like, oh, I want a basketball court or something.
I want to go out and shoot some hoops.
But since we don't, we're at our limit of what we can think of.
I don't want to shoot hoops. I want to be left alone.
Yeah, you said that twice now. I think you really just want to be left alone. And if you're president, you're never left alone.
Which is why I can't be president.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work for you.
Get out!
He just wants some peace and quiet.
I just want some time, okay?
And that doesn't work when you're in that position.
Yeah, I would not be good at president.
The riot used to be 3 people.
Please tell me we're not discussing video games again.
The other guy didn't make it. It's the riot.
Yesterday, Apple announced that they're doing a press conference on March 25th.
Ooh, what's coming out that day?
You know, we kind of normally don't care, but March 25th, they say, is probably going to be the day that Apple unveils its news and video services.
So like its Netflix thing?
Yeah, basically.
It'll be then.
This is going to sound, might be just me, a little nerdy, but an Apple News service interests me because here's something that, if you haven't noticed, it's real. Most of the news sources that you get are just completely heavily burdened with editorial. It is very, very hard to find just a news source where people are telling you what's going on. And instead, at the very least, there is like, and then they this and that or whatever. But the idea of like maybe I've almost hit this point. I'm not there yet. But I'm almost ready to start paying for
a non-editorialized.
A news source that I feel like I could trust. So instead of having to go and wade through the editorial and try to figure out like, hey, this is what's actually happening, this is it. Now, I know for a lot of people, they'll say that the BBC International is a good place for that. I've even heard really good things about CNNI, like their international branch, but I haven't dug for it a lot. But if Apple is going to come out with something that is I don't know. Maybe
a possibility.
Maybe.
So for the March release, it'll be the two things. So that'll be the news service that they're talking about, and then the Netflix like video subscription service, and that's two separate items.
It is.
So that means that they're saying they probably won't be talking about new AirPods or iPads until September then, because a lot of people were hoping the AirPods would be talked about at March and come out then, but it seems like that's going to be later.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. Like, the new iPad seems like a later thing, but I could see them busting out an AirPod announcement,
Just as a surprise.
It's like a one more thing. They haven't had a one more thing in a really long time.
Yeah, that's true. Now, for Apple, the plans to release their Netflix for News thing, they're speculating that subscription would be about $10 a month, and then you would get news content from a variety of publishers all in one.
That would be interesting.
It would be.
See.
Possibility.
Though, again, okay, this is super specific and snobby, but I want text. I don't want to have to watch video.
No, you wouldn't, because do you remember Texture?
Yes.
Okay, so Apple bought Texture in 2018, and this news service would be based on a lot of the Texture, which was a Netflix for magazine service.
Sure.
Would be really based on a lot of that platform that they bought from them.
Okay. That holds some interest for me.
So could be something you might like.
So there's that. I'll be curious to see what their Netflix-like subscription service will be, because, again, there's been speculation that if you have an Apple device, it will be free. We don't know, but there's been speculation for that. I've also seen some speculation that it will be like $5 or something. But then the question becomes, aside from their stuff,
what else would be on there?
What's going to be on it? Because
wave.
everybody's grabbing up their stuff right now. So what does that end up looking like?
So one last thing with the news thing, because it might walk the line of news and magazines, so a publishing sort of thing, is they are saying it could potentially be pushed back a little bit because publishers are extremely angry at Apple because allegedly they're wanting 50% of the revenue, and that is a very high number.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money for the publishing side of what they're trying to do, and so people are a little bit upset about that number.
That kind of that's one of those things, and you know what? It's about to get nerdy. I'll keep it quick. But you have to wonder, like, a lot of services are having to downsize. But you wonder would it be better to take the Apple money and stay alive, or would it be better to try to do it on your own and take your chances?
That's something they'd have to decide. But 50% is a lot, but you're right. They might not be able to make it otherwise.
Man.
Something they have to decide.
I don't know. Something to think about. Something for me to think about. Where do I want to invest my dollar?
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Pizza. February 12th, 1985. Something happened in the history of pizza that has changed the pizza landscape forever. 34 years ago.
What was it?
Take a guess. Can you guess what changed in pizza in 1985?
Was it they started cutting it or differently? Or
I do really like that. Until then, when you got a pizza, you had to eat the whole pizza.
Well, maybe you had to cut it yourself. I don't know.
That's it. Okay.
Did they have delivery back then?
They did, but that started, I think delivery started in the 60s or 70s with Domino's.
Oh, really?
Domino's was the first big nationwide chain to deliver.
I wouldn't think delivery would be that old.
I guess.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. And any other tries? Think about, all right, Nikki, I want you to think about a pizza.
Yeah.
When it gets to you in the box and you open the box.
Oh, the little plastic thing?
Well, Kristen said stuffed crust.
Oh, Kristen,
that's a good
call.
one. But Nikki is right.
It's the plastic circle?
Plastic thing in the pizza. It's called the Pizza Saver.
Is it supposed to keep all the pieces together? Or what's the point of it?
It keeps the top of the box from pushing down on the pizza.
See, I feel like I don't get those anymore, but I don't order pizza as much, so maybe I'm just not remembering.
Guess it depends. You're right. I will say, I don't see those as much as I used to, because a lot of times the pizza boxes are just way stronger.
Sure.
But the Pizza Saver was invented and patented by a woman named Carmela Vitali. And the patent went through on February 12th, 1985. Yep. So it's still out there. People do still use them. And the most common thing I'm finding on Twitter is how many people said that they used to use those as little tables for their Barbies.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I missed out on that.
So there's, and other people have said I used them for my G.I. Joes to pretend to eat pizza.
So you could have used them when you were younger.
Little fairy garden tea. Man, lots of people have a lot of uses for these things.
Dude, I bet if you just checked Pinterest, there's a lot of current uses you could be using that for. I'm sure a lot of hacks with that.
But it really, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Here's a pizza place that instead of using that, they had what they called the dough boy, and it was just basically a big hunk of dough that they baked like a breadstick or whatever.
Knot.
It just sat in the middle of the pizza, and that kept it.
That's a place to go to. That's visionary.
It is visionary, and as some people say, this is better because it's not single-use plastic.
Yeah, you can eat it. That's a great idea.
That is so
My plan
amazing.
today is still to find a heart-shaped pizza for dinner. So I think that's my dinner choice today.
I got an email from one place
that has it.
Well,
if anybody,
I'm sure there's more than that.
I think everybody kind of does it, but if anybody has a favorite for like the heart-shaped pizza, text me and let me know. Because I got to decide which one. I was going to get one from this place called Jets, and I was going to schedule it to pick it up later.
Yeah.
But it's on the main site. But when you actually log in to like place the order, I can't find the heart-shaped pizza anywhere.
Well, I do love Jets Pizza.
So I like either have to call and make the order or find some other place to go to
I'll have
and
some
have
of
it
that.
delivered.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let me know if anybody has a heart-shaped pizza one.
Okay. What time did you guys want me to come over?
For the heart-shaped pizza?
Yeah.
I'll let you know, and I'll make sure to get the door for you.
Just text me later.
When you get there, yeah.
Okay. I
if
really
you don't hear
appreciate
from
that.
me, something maybe came up.
So just, what do you think? Show up at 4 and just wait?
And just wait for the pizza?
Yeah.
You know, I might have you swing and just get the pizza on your way.
Are you going to pay for it in advance?
Of course I would.
It's like, I'm not going to pay for it because I'm a guest.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
But they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, you said that you were looking for a heart-shaped pizza?
Yeah, I'm looking. Someone reminded me of Giordano's, which is my favorite Chicago deep dish pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one right down the road from the studio. But it's so much money. So
How much is it?
I don't know. I can only see, like, if you can have them ship you 2 heart-shaped pizzas. It's $75. But obviously that doesn't work. I don't need them shipped to me. But when you go to look like for the local area, they don't have it on the website. I think you have to go and call or ask at the restaurant. So.
Use the phone? Oh, I don't think so.
I know. That's why I was like, well, maybe I'll just look at another place. So lame. I can't even do that.
Yes, you absolutely lost a sale because I had to call.
Because I don't see your heart-shaped deal like for your actual local menu ordering at the restaurant. But everybody seems to have one today. Papa John's, Donato's, Jets
Papa
Pizza
John's
Hut.
has one?
They do.
You know what? I like Papa John's pizza, and I never get it because of all the major chains, it's the one that is not even remotely near my house.
Well, you get that in a heart-shaped pizza plus a brownie, like a brownie square.
Okay.
But cut in big.
It's a brownie.
It's not just a brownie, but like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brownies. So a little sheet of brownies, something like that.
A brownie sheet.
Yeah, you get that with the
Well,
pizza.
That's nice.
Oh, that might be nice to do.
Do you think they have does Papa John? Oh man, does Papa John's have a gluten-free crust?
Possibly.
Create your own sausage, signature, the meats. Tucson,
That sounds like a sickness.
It does. Like, how are you doing? Oh, gosh, I've got the meats. It is killing me.
Okay, well, you might have just ruined my heart-shaped pizza right there. For Valentine's Day, that's fine.
Where's Obadiah? He's a bad case of the meats.
And it probably comes from when you, like, eat too much meat.
Like, what are you doing? You know what? I can't come in. I've got the meats.
Well, I got to decide.
Oh, that sounds so gross.
It does, doesn't it? They all sound good. It just depends on what type of pizza I want tonight.
Okay. Well, I should look. Like, I'm getting together with some people tonight, and we were like, hey, we should do something for Valentine's Day. So we are. And right now, the debate is between do like a make your own waffle bar where you could have like all kinds of different toppings and stuff, or do we just order pizzas? And
it seems like we're all leaning towards that last one, aren't we?
Not gonna lie to you, the waffle bar thing sounded amazing,
But
but
that's so much work.
the closer I get to it, I'm like,
Pizza could be
We
good.
could just have pizza, and pizza is good.
Anybody work?
I like pizza.
Does anybody work at a pizza place and can tell me, like, is Valentine's Day one of the top, like, pizza days where you get so many more orders?
How about this one? Does anybody work at a pizza place and just want to get me free pizza?
Now, no one was asking that.
We didn't say that.
No, we're giving away pizza today.
Well, I know. That's why, because we're giving away pizza, and so I don't have any. Matt says, don't know. I travel in the... Okay, he goes to Chicago, so...
He was telling me about
he doesn't know.
Yeah, the Giordano's
if you can pick
one.
them up in the store. I don't want a Giordano's pizza today. I don't. It's too
big
much? And effort, and like you're chewing on cheese for days. I want a thin, crispy one.
First off, that is a bad attitude to have.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
But you could also go with thin and crispy if you'd like.
Oh, look at that. Brandon says that even if it's not on the website, you should be able to add a comment for a large pizza to be made as a heart shape as long as they
they're
offer it.
offering. Brandon, that's a bold statement. I don't know if you could just put that in the comment section when you're making the order. I'm not sure they're going to, they'll also spit on it
If you ask.
in a heart-shaped way. So I don't know if I want it to just be an option to click on and then get the heart shape that way.
Carl says, I one time grilled a 2-pound roll of ground beef wrapped in 1 pound of bacon.
Whoa.
That definitely gave me a case of the meats.
That's when you get that.
Yeah. Doesn't sound so good, does it?
Just stick with the pizza.
Your morning, but without yelling, laughing, or music.
Don't deprive me of that.
We wouldn't dream of it. It's The Riot on Radio U.
We're still a couple of weeks away from the Oscars. I don't care. But
that's the full name of the Oscars award ceremony. I don't know if you knew that, but it's called Oscars 2019. I don't care.
Well, we got 2 items on the Oscars. One, boy, did you just see the backlash from them cutting
Yesterday?
some of the categories?
Well,
it's not that they've cut them.
They're not, but they're not doing a few categories. The ones that a lot of people did not even...
They say they don't care about.
The viewers would
Right.
usually don't care about. They're not the stronger categories of like the bigger names. And they're going to put those, I think they said like during commercials, they will go off the actual broadcast.
Right.
And there were a lot of people who were mad.
So it was like hair and makeup and
Visual effects or something.
and then cinematography, which I'll have to admit, that is the one that I saw people just railing against, because their point, which is really well taken, is that cinematography is actually the heart of filmmaking, because it's the one thing that, like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Taking pictures well is the start of film. And
for some of those categories, the nominees and then ultimately the winner are usually not the most well-known movies. And they just it's not big names.
you should, if you don't look much into cinematography, you should look at it, because it's one of those things that when you watch a movie and something looks amazing, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So it's worth looking at. But people were pretty dang frustrated about it. Now, that being said, if you've said to yourself what you'd really like to do is watch the Oscars and make it a little more interesting,
What are you supposed to do?
well, you place your bets on it.
Okay.
New Jersey has become the first place in the United States where you can legally
Bet on the Oscars?
on the outcome of the Oscars.
Well, that sounds like a waste of money. Don't bet on the Oscars. Keep your money.
Well, that's not what New Jersey says,
Well, don't listen to them.
Nikki. New Jersey says
To bet
that
the money.
you should come on down to the sports book and place a bet on the Oscars.
Do they have any predictions or anything like that? Or
No, but let me give you a quote here from Matthias Stetz. He's the chief operating officer of Rush Street Interactive, which is a gambling place in New Jersey. We have customers who aren't huge sports fans but enjoy playing bingo and roulette with us. So this is a way for them to lose more money on something that they might be more interested in.
A non-sporting event.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever met someone who gambles like on anything and everything, that's what you really got to look out for.
I'm out. I can't. Listen, I've already got enough problems that I'm trying to
You don't
keep
wanna
at
add
bay.
that
The last
into
thing I
it?
need to do is start putting money on the Oscars.
Like we talked about a few minutes ago, we're getting ordering pizza probably for dinner for Valentine's Day. That's a big enough gamble for us.
I know.
That's enough for us.
Now, that's a gamble. I'm going to order this pizza. Am I going to get the meats?
Like which
I don't
one
know.
is it going to be good? Like that's the that's how we roll the dice. And
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
doing that any other way.
But
not for
there-
the Oscars.
But there you go. Now Now you're a loser for two things. You've gone to New Jersey and you're losing on the Oscar
Jersey's
bets.
not bad. It's fine.
I know, but it's the obvious joke.
It's the obvious joke that everybody says, but...
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Nikki, you want to place a bet on how many more obvious jokes we hit before the end of the show?
That's something.
You don't have enough money to lose.
You're not winning on that one.
Think Obadiah owns too many video games?
Get us out of here. Roger that.
Well, maybe you'll think differently when... Okay, you're right. There's no conceivable scenario where anyone needs that many. The Riot on Radio U.
So yesterday we got a sneak peek at Crackdown 3, which comes out tomorrow for the PC and the Xbox. And I got to tell you, after about an hour with that game, I wondered why I would want to spend another hour with it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that a rousing, yes for it or what? So no Obadiah plays?
No, we'll do one. We will.
Well, you mentioned this is Crackdown 3.
Yes.
And you never played the first two.
Did not.
But what do you hate so much about this one? Just with spending a little bit of time with it.
Well, okay, a couple things. One, it looks like and reminds me a ton of a game that came out 2 years ago called Agents of Mayhem, which was a game that I wanted to be really good, and it just wasn't. And one of the biggest problems with Agents of Mayhem, and again, I've only played an hour, but Crackdown 3 seems to have the same problem, and that is that it struggles with tone. It looks like a game that basically all ages could enjoy. But instead, it has it's got a ton of language and, some stuff in it where I look at it and it's on the one hand, they're screaming various obscenities, whatever. But then on the other hand, they're trying really hard to be earnest at times, but funny at other times. And they just really drop the ball on tone.
Yeah.
And so it's is this a game for adults? Because right now it feels like a game for kids. But it's you're doing all of this, but oh, wait a minute. Now it feels like a game for adults again, but now it just feels like a game for kids. Which one is it?
Sure.
Tell me which one it is. And I feel like that just absolute ball dropping of tone makes it, it's not good.
Not good?
It's not. I mean, I'm going to play some more, and I'm probably going to do an Obadiah plays with it. But
Well, don't do it if you don't want to. Play something else.
There's that. I also saw reviews are up for, okay, one more thing on that, Crackdown 3. I noticed yesterday, I know the embargo lifted yesterday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. But what I also noticed was that when the embargo lifted, there wasn't anything posted anywhere.
That's no one cared.
That's not a good sign.
It's not.
It's not a good sign. So it makes me wonder if I was one of the only, I was in that first wave of mailings that got the code. I thought I might have been in the second wave, but the fact that there are still no reviews posted, not a good sign. Far Cry New Dawn, which is also out Friday, all their reviews are posted this morning, and those reviews seem to be pretty good. And then, what else? It's Metro Exodus. There are also reviews for that sound
pretty good.
Okay. Sam just texted in and says, you need to do an Obadiah Plays on Apex Legends. It's free, and it's survival mode, squads of 3, Sam. Yeah, I should play that.
I think that still has more people talking about it. Go with that instead of something that you've hated after just a few moments.
I didn't hate it.
It was some strong feelings I got coming from you.
The other thing is it's just lock-on targeting. You're not even really shooting anything, and I'm supposed to
not
be
Apex Legends.
No. Crackdown 3, and you're supposed to be jumping, and it's these jumping puzzles, but the jumping feels terrible. And
I think you've answered your own question there. You've told us more than enough about it. I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
You don't want to hate something more. Just find another game you want to play.
Okay, I just find...
Hey, your time is precious and valuable.
My time is valuable,
It is.
Nikki.
Play another game.
Play something else?
Yeah.
And I'm still just playing Assassin's Creed and happy about it.
Now play something else
I'm just
besides
happy.
that. You're still playing that. Now, you do need to move on every so often.
I can't move on.
You're going to have to. Okay. You need to get in the middle then. Not to the right, not to the left.
Dakota says Apex Legends is a great game. You should try it. I should. It's free. It's not hard to get. It's right there.
Everybody would love to watch an Obadiah Plays.
Everyone's telling me how great it is, and I'm just I don't know. I think I'd rather have this really bad game that costs $60. Why would I play the free one that's really good?
I don't understand.
That's a really dumb idea. I don't get it.
I just don't understand.
A lot of things we don't get, Nikki.
turn it up loud enough and your neighbors will call the cops. Because it's obviously a cry for help. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You know what I did today? This was weird. I was part of a group where they're like, hey, we're going to hand out Valentines on Valentine's Day. So I took with me, it was, we got a bunch of chocolate bars. And so the idea was like, hey, I'm just going to hand in this chocolate bar. And so I went to the gym this morning. There are these two guys that work the counter. It's like the same guys every day. Now, I always think about the fact that it's a real pain for me to get to the gym in the morning, but they have to be there before me and open the place up.
To open the door. Yes.
So I gave each of them candy bars for Valentine's Day, and I was just like, you know what?
Here it is.
Thanks for being here every morning and opening up the gym. And I'm not going to lie to you, it felt a little awkward.
Did it? Were they excited?
They were.
Yeah,
that was
nice.
That's what I thought was really funny is that it was not really easy for me to do. I mean, it's not that hard. I don't care that much. But it's just this idea of like I'm carrying in these candy bars to wish these guys at the gym happy Valentine's Day. It felt a little off for me. But you know what? They were so excited about it.
I think that's why it's hard, and we stop ourselves from doing something nice to someone.
Yeah.
And we talk ourselves out of it. We think they might think it's weird, but they really appreciate it.
It really made my morning to see how much they appreciated it, because that's what I thought. I was like, this is dumb. These guys are going to be like candy bar or whatever. And instead they were like, man, thank you so much. You could tell they got really excited. And I was like,
yeah. Yay.
Wow. This went better than I expected.
So it might be something good for people to try today or any day, for goodness sakes.
Could be any day. But you know what? If you feel a little bummed out because you aren't getting what you want this Valentine's Day or whatever, find a couple of Valentines, stuff them in your pocket, hand them out, get some candy, hand it out. And it was funny, but like I thought it was really awesome. The act of doing, I would have never done it on my own. It was somebody else's idea, but then doing it, I was like, man, that was actually really cool. And it gave me a chance. I've thanked them for coming in before, but it was really a good opportunity for me. Like, you know, those guys provide a service to me every morning. The one guy cleans the place and the other guy, you know, goes and unlocks everything and works the desk. And I mean, they are the reason why every single day that I get to go to the gym. And sure, you could be like, yeah, you pay for that. But you know what?
Let's not have that attitude, guys.
Like, that's true. It is true. But
they come in and do it with a nice attitude, and they do a good job.
So
they could do it poorly.
Yeah. You know, so maybe grab some stuff, hand it out, and say thanks to people in your life that are doing something great for you, even if you pay for it.
Or even if it feels weird at first.
Yeah, well, and it did. Again, it feels very unmasculine for me to carry candy bars to give to guys at the gym. But you know what, Nikki? That's just toxic masculinity trying to step in and keep me from being kind to my fellow man.
That's right.
You remember that time you started your morning with a gas station breakfast sandwich and immediately regretted it? Yeah, it's like that. The Riot. Radio U.
Please keep in mind that Valentine's Day is not a celebration of love. It is not a celebration of togetherness and all that stuff. It is a celebration of someone taking advantage of those things as a way to monetize them. Okay, that's what Valentine's Day is. It is, people call it a Hallmark holiday, but that's not even fair to Hallmark anymore. Just sending a card seems like it's not remotely enough. You have to send a card and do a billion other things. Because if you just send a card, that's the least that is expected. You've got to do so much more. Now, let's move on to this. While I don't want you to spend the day sad or whatever because you do not have a relationship to celebrate this fake, made-up, exploitive holiday with, I want you to know that you're still loved, okay? If for some reason, like for you, even though for me, I'm like, that's the man taking advantage. You're like...
But to you, it might be something that's very important and you're sad about.
Yeah, but I'm sad, Obadiah. Even if I am being exploited, I'm sad. Here's what I want you to do. Right now, where you are, you know, crowd, alone, whatever, just say this out loud with me. I am loved. Now, it felt awkward to say things out loud like that, but we're going to do it again. You ready? I am loved. Nope, still not getting through.
One more time.
One more time. I am loved. Now, who loves you? Maybe people in your life, maybe people you know. One person I know for sure is that God does love you. Jesus cares deeply about you. It is not a generic love. It is not a, well, I love everybody, so I guess you get roped in. It's not anything like that. God loves you. He loves the stuff about you that you don't like. He thinks that the things about yourself that you're like, he loves you anyway. He sees it all. He loves you, and you're loved. So don't walk around today saying, I'm not loved, I'm not this. You are. And you could be in one of the most amazing dynamic relationships available. The most amazing. A relationship with God. And look, God's not dumb. I'm not dumb. I know you want a person. I get that. I'm not saying that. But I'm telling you that if you take some time to get with God and understand his love for you, when the time comes, whenever it is, you're going to be so much more ready for that relationship because of the one that you've already got. If you don't have a relationship with God, just do it right now. Just say, Jesus, I want that. Come into my life. Thank you for loving me. Fill me with your spirit. I want to know you. And that is a great place to start. And you know what? Enjoy God's love and stay the heck off the internet for the day.
Or enjoy the day.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not wanting to hear about Valentine's Day,
don't pay attention to it then.
Stay off the internet, right?
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Did I tell you, Nikki, that I watched another episode of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan on Amazon?
The one from, I love your movie and TV reviews from things that are several months old.
Was that Thanksgiving that came out?
No, that was last August, I think.
No.
Search, I promise you. That must have been last August.
Okay. Well, I've seen, I believe, 2 or maybe 3 episodes now. And I keep saying to myself, I'm going to get into this and watch it. And then I just don't.
I didn't think people really caught, it didn't seem like everybody actually liked it. It came out August 31st.
It must have done okay because they just announced season 3. Season 2, not out yet.
They had season 1 and 2 as a package deal.
Oh, they did?
So it was kind of like 1 and 2. 2 was confirmed before season 1 even came out.
Well, season 3 is confirmed before 2 even came out.
So I think they had enough to keep going with it.
It must be really good, right? Is that, or there must have been a lot of people that watched it, right?
I think if you were Amazon and you were investing in a brand and like Jack Ryan, that's been movies, like that's something, that's a, what do I want?
Tentpole.
Yeah, it's like, it's not something new. Like, it's been around. And
Established franchise?
Established franchise. That's 100% what I wanted to say. So when you're into this established franchise, it's not worth you spending all the money to buy the franchise, to buy the name, to just do 1 season with it. Even if it doesn't do as well.
Got to do more.
You got to do more than that. So I think that's why a lot of these shows are coming and they're like, 2, 3, 4 seasons before they even get going. Because they have to put the money in to make sure they get something out.
I want to, in my heart.
Like it?
Like it.
Yeah.
I want to. I'm going to try to. I'm going to give it another chance in a month or 2 and see how it goes. You know what happens? This is what happened last weekend. I'm like, I'm going to go down here and watch this. And I watched an episode and I was like, and then I'm going to start playing this. And then that's it. I don't watch anything else. No more watching.
I mean, that did come out a long time ago.
I'm out.
So
I'm just out on TV. You know, like it never works out for me.
I worry about our ability to watch things when, you'd watch a movie, it's not even a couple hours long, but yet it's very hard to pick a time to be able to sit and do that. And then you got a TV show and it's like 40, 50 minutes since there's no commercials if it's streaming. And now when you're at the point where that's too much time to invest in something.
Okay.
Like we keep cutting back how much time we're willing to put into something, and there's nothing that's going to be short enough.
Do you know what I've been watching a ton of on YouTube? A ton. Like I have deep dived on this channel. It's a channel called Toy Galaxy.
Yeah.
And it is this guy that runs his YouTube feed. He does a couple of different things with it. But the one that I like the most is he basically just goes back to toy lines and talks about where they came from, why they were popular at the time, were they popular, like all these different things about all these different toys. And it's fascinating to me to listen to. And
it's short.
It's 8 minutes.
It's like the Netflix toy show, but shorter.
Yeah, it is. And it is literally me, like, if I'm, like, I don't know, lunching alone, which is often,
Aww.
but it's fine. I'm eating lunch. I watch an episode from Toy Galaxy, and I'm like, I'm done.
See, that's the sweet spot right there. Not these almost hour-long things where you have to keep going and you're investing. We don't want to invest in anything.
Yeah, I just can't. I will. I can.
You can. We're just not
don't.
doing it. And don't feel bad.
Not to. I choose not to.
Well, if you watch any more of the Jack Ryan from last August, please let us know.
Yeah. Maybe this weekend, like one. You know?
You'll never finish it then.
I know.
Like into the next year.
Hudson asked me yesterday, he's like, have you finished Daredevil yet? And I was like, nope. But I still saw those first 2 episodes, and I still really liked them.
You liked it. It's like you haven't even watched more, but you actually liked that one.
I did. I liked it. Well, when they announced they canceled it, it kind of took the wind out of my sails.
Now you know you have plenty of time. It'll always still just stay there.
If Nikki sounds a little bored this morning, it's because Obadiah is still talking.
Too much talking.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Talking.
Oh, here's a text, Nikki, from Keith. It says this: when I was in 7th grade, I was really excited about Valentine's Day because I had what I thought was my first serious relationship.
Aw, what year or what grade?
7th grade.
7th grade?
I spent all the money I had saved and went to school with my book bag full of stuff for her. When I finally found her in the hallway to give her the stuff, she was with another guy and had a bunch of Valentine's Day stuff in her arms. She looked at me and said she changed her mind and was with him now.
Uh-oh.
I spent the rest of the day carrying that stuff in my book bag.
Oh, no.
Now this day is only a sad anniversary of that moment.
Aww.
Keith,
so there's been no one since? No one to change those negative memories to have some new good ones?
Keith's in 8th grade now, Nikki, and...
So he hasn't had a chance.
I don't know what grade that Keith is in, but
it's funny.
I don't know that I had that experience on Valentine's Day. I can remember having a girlfriend in 7th grade. That was my first girlfriend, really, and getting her something for Valentine's Day and was terrified.
Because it's like more of not a commitment holiday, but just you're celebrating a holiday.
Nikki, I don't know if it was like this for other guys, but for me, girls were, and to a certain extent still are, terrifying. Terrifying. I don't understand them. I know that I like them, but I
just don't get it.
But I'm afraid of them, and they seem to be these magical, mystical creatures like from another world, but then like... what?
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
and especially when you're in 7th or 8th grade, it must have been super terrifying.
Just terrifying. I wish, looking back, I wish someone had come along, whether it would have been an older man or woman, and explained some things to me, like, here's how you treat girls, here's how you talk to them, they're just people, etc. I could have used a lot of, I feel like advice, like direct advice, somebody teach me that I didn't get, I think, until my senior year of college. So it was
a little bit later.
that came from a book.
I wish someone would have been more open and honest, saying that not just your relationships with like a boyfriend or girlfriend, but then also just your friends. At that young age, you probably won't even, you'd never see them again once those grades change and stuff.
Yeah.
I wish people were just more open that is not probably going to be a relationship that can stand the test of time.
It's going to last?
Yeah, like your friends or anything. And that way you didn't put as much emotion into it. Like you still cared, but it wasn't so killer when it didn't work out.
You know what, though? Like in 7th grade, if someone explained to you, one day you're going to this, you wouldn't have believed it.
I know, but it would have been nice.
You would have been like, man, your dad says the dumbest stuff.
Okay, someone outside of your parents, because you never believed them.
Yeah, that too, right? So, well, you know what, Keith, sorry for a bad Valentine's Day, and everybody else, fist bump, all right? You're going to make it.
It's going to be a good day today. We're having a great time. Perfect. Maybe you'll win with our happy, sad day. That's better.
Okay, David's text, amazing. Do you see it?
Oh, what? David, can we have some positive Valentine's stuff?
Happy, sad day. This person has lived 30 years without a Valentine.
He's fine. All right. It's like in the way of a sign, like if they have had an accident at a workplace.
Yeah, exactly. Where you just wipe it off, and every year you put a new number in it. Fantastic.
The Riot. Turn it down.
And rip the knob off.
Radio U.
Now, I haven't looked at it yet, but yesterday Nintendo had what they call a Nintendo Direct.
What was the thing with it and Zelda? Because I saw that trending.
They are remaking a Zelda game that apparently some people say is like one of the best Zelda games of all time. It was called The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and I guess it played on the Game Boy, or was it the Game Boy Color or something like that? I've never played it, in case you can't tell. And so,
are you playing it now, or is it the trailer?
I'm looking at the trailer. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it has a very unique kind of look to it, like the old school Zelda, but very 3D. And
I'm sorry, I didn't catch. So they're not just like, what's the term, like porting it over from the old one?
No.
Like they've remade it, but it's the old game.
I'll have to say that I'll probably play that.
You like Zelda?
I do like Zelda. This looks really interesting. Oh, yeah, I'm playing that. That's a given.
Yes. That's a yes.
I'm going to get that. I'll play that.
A Switch game, or will that be a phone game?
Switch,
okay.
Yeah. The other thing they announced that I believe may be available right now. Let's see. It's available exclusively for the Twitch. Maybe
for the Twitch?
For the Switch. They announced it on Twitch.
Ah, okay.
And it is a multiplayer Tetris game called Tetris 99 that is a battle royal Tetris game.
And how much is that thing?
I believe that's actually free. Yeah, it's exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online members. So if you pay for their yearly service,
then you can have it.
I think it's like $20. Then you get this game for free, and you can start playing it now, I guess.
You like Tetris? If you like Tetris, may I also remind you of an old game called Luminous?
Oh, Nikki.
Now I play that also on my Switch, and not.
Did you get it for the Switch?
I did. I got it for my Switch.
Okay.
And I paid the Switch tax and all.
Yes,
I totally did.
That's a thing.
And I love it when I play it, but I just don't play it as much as I thought I would against an old game that they brought back.
Yeah, they did like an HD update or remake.
But
or
if you like
of it.
that sort of blocks falling down, putting them and clearing them out, then Luminous is a really good one.
The other thing that's supposed to be really, really cool that I haven't played it, but I've seen it, is that Tetris game for the PlayStation 4. What's that called? Tetris...
PS4?
No, it's not. Tetris Effect. People say that game is incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if you like Tetris, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best ever, blah, blah, blah.
See, I still like those sort of games more on my phone. That's not one I go to turn on a console for. That's a quick game.
Well, again, it's only on PlayStation for now. You imagine at some point it goes somewhere else. But you can play Tetris Effect in virtual reality. And they say that in VR, it's like...
You get motion sickness, though?
No. People love it.
It's nice?
Yeah. So it's supposed to be a very relaxing and immersive way to play Tetris. So
expensive way.
Yeah, well, for sure. They did announce a couple of other things in that Nintendo Direct yesterday, including a new Fire Emblem game that's going to be coming, and that's also coming to the Switch. So I think they might have peaked at Zelda for me there.
That was the big news out of all the news.
I didn't watch the video until right now, and I got to tell you what, having watched the video... I think I'm on board.
But when is that, Zelda?
They didn't say. Sometime this year, but there hasn't been a date for it yet.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Oh gosh, I've got the meats. It is killing me.